Hello everyone, welcome back. Severtus here, coming back with part 6 of What If Deku had bloodcurdle. Now, where we last left off, Izuku has gone into the USJ attack trying to kill Bakugo, but he got, off guard by, got surprised by a couple of villains attacking him, thinking that he is one of the students of UA. In the end, he ended up fighting against the villain Oravity, and after winning against in that fight, he ended up running away because All Might has already appeared. And right now we continue as Izuku, jumping on the buildings, saying to himself, I need to tell Stain about what happened there and about the League of Villains. If it wasn't for that Kirishima, I might was able to kill Bakugo. It doesn't matter now, I need to go as fast as possible. And after that, Izuku finally got into Stain hideout as he take down his mask and said, Stain, are you there? As Stain said, oh, Izuku, welcome back. What's happened? As Izuku said, well, it didn't work as, planned. Looks like the USJ was being attacked by villains, a group that named League of Villains, I believe. And in the end, they just ruined my plans, as they said, oh, really? Well, that disappointing. But don't worry, you will gonna get your chance soon enough. Do you have anything, do you have anything to say? Or do you just come here to tell me about this? As Izuku said, well, not really, I just come to tell you what's happened there. Well, I'm gonna go back to my home, as Stain said, alright, you should take a rest. And I'm quite surprised that you managed to defeat a couple of villains there. You're getting better every day. As Izuku said, thanks, Stain. Well, see you tomorrow. As Izuku, jump away. And after that, he come back into his home as he knock on the door saying, Mom, are you there? As Inko opened the door saying, oh, Izuku, welcome back. What's happened with you? How was your day? As Izuku said, yeah, it wasn't something it wasn't something so special. I just get out and try to have fun playing in a playground or something like that. As Inko said, well, I'm happy for you that you have a nice day. Well, come here because I'm sure that you are hungry, right? As Izuku said, yeah, I'm quite hungry. As Izuku got into, the house and start eating. As after that he got into his room, and in the night he got a call from none other than Stain. As Stain said, Izuku, are you there? As Izuku said, yes, Stain, what is it? As Stain said, do you still have a couple of those notebooks? I might need a couple of them. As Izuku said, yeah, I have some here. Some with a couple of heroes, like, Gang Orca, Nightwing, Slash, and those kind of heroes. Do you want them? As Stain said, yeah, if you would be so kind, I would like you to get them here. But today you will not gonna come with me on Heroes Hunt, because you need to take a rest. As Izuku said, alright, Stain. And after that, Izuku, meets Stain on a specific place to give him the notebook, and after that, he just come back to his home and leave. Come back to his home. As in the morning, Izuku waking up saying, who is it? Who is this? As he looking at his phone, ringing. As he opened it up, saying, hello, who's there? As he heard a sound from the other side saying, finally, I got to talk with you. You are so hard to, call. I was like calling you for the last 2 days. As Izuku said, wait, who are you again? As the Toga said, do you really forget about me? I'm Toga. Seriously, Izuku? As Izuku said, oh, yeah, you are that. Blood girl. What is it? I'm quite sleepy right now. As Toga said, do you want to hang out? I mean, I doesn't have anything to do. I've already done from killing a couple of people, and as Izuku said, you done what? As Toga said, what? Aren't you also killing, heroes? You can't just tell me that I'm doing the wrong thing when you do it yourself. As Izuku said, alright, why do you want to meet with me again? As Toga said, first of all, I want to hang up with someone that like blood just like me. And also, I want to ask you a couple of questions about Stain. Because I still want to know where is his hideout. As Izuku said, I'm not gonna tell you about this information. As Toga said, well, I'm gonna get them out of you by force. Well, can you meet me at the park on this coordinates? As she sent the coordinates for Izuku, and Izuku said, what will happen if I didn't come? As Toga said, well, I will basically gonna track your device and find your house, and then I will gonna force you to get out of here. Of there. As Izuku said, fine, fine. Just let me eat my breakfast. As Izuku left the phone and put on his red t-shirt and opened the door as he see in front of him Inko just listening through the door, smiling as she said, Who was on the phone, Izuku?" As Izuku said, Mom, what are you doing here?" As Inko said, I was about to, to knock on your door to wake you up, but looks like some girl on your phone has wake you up already. Can I know who she is?" As Izuku said, "What do you mean, Mom? I don't quite understand what you're talking about." As Inko said, "Oh, come on, is that your girlfriend, Izuku?" As Izuku said, girlfriend? What do you mean by this? She's just a friend." As Inko said, "Are you sure?" Because she said that she have a quite the same quirk as you." As Izuku said, "Not exactly the same, but you can say that she have quite the same need of blood just like me." As Inko said, "Oh, look how perfect you are to, each other. Well, come and eat your breakfast. I'm sure that you doesn't want to get late on your date." As Izuku blushing heavily and said, "What did date, Mom? It's nothing." As Inko said, "Calm down, Izuku. I'm just teasing you. All right. Come on, eat your breakfast." As after Izuku eating his breakfast, he just get out of the house. He's still knowing that someone is following him, which is still Edshot. As Izuku said in his mind, Edshot is still following me around. He really not. Well, let's see what he will gonna do when he see me just going into the park. As right now, Izuku just walking down the street, as Edshot watching him from far away, saying, "Where this kid this time is gonna go? He keeping something secret from me, I'm sure of it. Is he really know that I am here or something like that? No, I'm sure that he can't know that I am here. I am sure that I'm 100% unable to be seen by him. Even if he saw me, I can just, but turn himself like into a string. You know how Edshot turn himself into string and pierce through things or slide through doors or something like that. He can just do that." As he see him going into the park. As he said, what he's doing in the park. As Izuku seeing, Toga sitting on a bench. As she start waving to him saying, "Oh, Izuku, hey, good morning." As Izuku said, "Oh, good morning, Toga." As after that, Izuku immediately go and kiss Toga on her cheek. He's making, Edshot feel a little bit weird, saying, wait, Is that what he keeping a secret? A girlfriend of his? Maybe I'm just imagining things. Let's see what he's trying to do. As Izuku did this because he want to make Echa think that his secret is not that he working with Stain, but he have a girlfriend or something like that. As Toga blushing by this, saying, Izuku, what? Why this? As Izuku said, shh. As he, whispered to her ear, saying, "There is a hero that following me around. Just play along. I just want him to think that I doesn't have anything to do with Stain, alright?" As Toga immediately kissed Izuku. As Edgeshot is quite surprised by this and said, "So this is his secret." That the prince, the the detective is quite need to work on his detective skills. If he will just gonna make me follow a kid that he having a girlfriend around, it's just a waste of time. And after that, Edgeshot start watching, trying to see if he actually, Izuku is actually having a girlfriend or is just another lie. As Izuku and Toga just sitting down talking, as Toga said, "So, what's about your yeah, going to that's hero school. When are you gonna go to it?" As Izuku said, "Nah, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna go into it. Maybe the next week we will gonna have our entrance exam or something like that. I'm trying to train on my body, but it's just hard." As Toga said, "Oh, I can help you with training." As Izuku said, "Really? What kind of training you do?" As Toga said, not much, just knives, parkour, things like that." As Izuku said, "Parkour? Maybe that will gonna be helpful." "Well, can you meet me, you know, tomorrow in the forest?" As Toga said, "Sure thing." Or Izuku said, "Or you know what? Maybe after tomorrow, alright, Toga?" As Toga said, "Alright, Izuku, but come on, let's go into, to eat something." As she got hold of, Izuku and start dragging him with her into a cake shop. As she got inside saying, "This is my favorite cake shop. They have a lots of different kind of cake, you know, small cakes, big cakes, mid-tier cakes, things, a lot of things, chocolate and everything." As Izuku said, "Great. So what's your favorite kind?" As Toga said, "Here, Izuku, eat this." As she immediately put a cake inside Izuku's mouth. Izuku, chokes on the cake, saying, "Oh, Toga is not like this. You will gonna kill me if you just put a cake in my mouth." As Toga said, "Oh, come on, it's just a cake." As she throw another one in Izuku's mouth. Izuku said, "Stop it! Stop it, please." As Toga said, "Alright." And after that, they sit down and start eating cake. As after that, Izuku hearing from his, back a sound saying, "Oh, look what do we have here. Isn't this deku?" As, other kids saying, "Oh, yeah, it's deku. What a pleasant surprise to see you here." As Izuku looking behind, he see the girl, the kid with the long fingers and the one with the, big wings, the fat kid with the wings. The old Bakugo goons. As Izuku said, "What do you want both from me?" As the one with the finger said, "Oh, look what do we have here? Izuku, looks like you have a girlfriend, huh?" As Toga said, "Izuku, who are these two?" As the other one with the wings said, "Oh, come on, you beauty. Why don't you going out with this loser? We have a couple of good people in our place. You can, see a better man than him." As Izuku said, "Leave the place at once before I attack you." As the one with the finger said, "Oh, really? You villain, you will gonna show your colors finally?" As Izuku said, "Leave me alone." As the one with the long finger said, Alright, I will gonna leave you alone, but come on, you beauty, let's go. As he going to touch Toga, but Izuku immediately catching his hand and start crushing his hand, saying, "If you try to put your hands on her, I'm gonna fucking eat your face." As the one with the fingers starts screaming in pain, saying, "Ah, my hand, you asshole! Stop it!" As Izuku said, "What? Does it hurt? Does it hurt? Oh, come on. Let's have some fun. You remember the old days when you were bullying me?" Oh, I remember every second of it. As Izuku start licking his limbs, as with a fucking sadistic smile like hell, as the guy starts shaking, as the other one with the wing quirk was about to throw a punch at Izuku, as he punched him in his face. Izuku looking back at him with a sadistic smile, licking his mouth with his tongue, saying, "You're looking tasty, I always liked chicken wings, but I never tried your own wings." As the kids start, being surprised by this, as Toga immediately put her hand on Izuku, saying, "Izuku, let's leave the place." As Izuku come back into his sanity, saying, Toga, what?" As Toga said, "Come on, let's leave. We don't want to make them know that you are Stain sidekick, right? You don't want to kill anyone." As Izuku said, Yeah, let's leave." As he left the hand of the one with the fingers, as he said, "If you ever try to go after me or after Toga, I'm gonna fucking eat your fingers." As he just leave them on the ground, they start shaking in fear, saying, "What the hell was that? What's happened to that scary pussycat Deku that we always know?" As Izuku and Toga, leave the place. By this time, Edshot has already left Izuku alone because he got bored from seeing him going on a date with his girlfriend or something like that. As he, come back into the detective telling him what's happened, as Toga walking with Izuku telling him, "Well, Izuku, what's happened there?" As Izuku said, "I just doesn't know. I felt like I don't know. It's just like I was wanting to either his face or something like that. I was smelling his fear. It was like so tasty." As Toga said, "Oh, really? How was it? How was the fear taste like?" As Izuku said, "It's quite weird. It tastes so good, to be honest. Feeling them being scared of me, shaking by my presence alone, is just great." As Toga said, "Well, I'm happy for you, Izuku." As she kissing Izuku on his cheek, as Izuku has already noticed Edshot has already run away, or left the place. As Izuku said, "You can stop this now. It was just an act." As Toga said, "To be honest, you were acting, but I wasn't." As she put her arms around Izuku's arm, as Izuku said, "Please stop." As Toga said, "Oh, now you come back to being your little old innocent boy?" As Izuku said, "I'm not innocent." As Toga said, "Oh, come on, just look at your face. You're blushing heavily." As Izuku said, "Oh, I'm not blushing." As Toga said, "Oh, really? How about you look in the mirror when you come back to your home?" By talking about your home, when you gonna introduce me to your mom?" As Izuku said, "No, I'm not gonna introduce you to anyone." As Toga said, "Oh, come on. If you're not gonna introduce me, I'm gonna, just come into your home by myself." As Izuku said, "Alright, just not today." As Toga said, "Alright." And after that, Toga left the place and Izuku come back to his home. As after, 1 week, Izuku was training with Stain and killing a couple of heroes, which is the people start noticing Izuku. They start, calling him Izuku, the Stain partner, not just his sidekick. as Izuku has gone by the name Curdle. And if you guys have any better name than just, Curdle, put it down in the comments. I will gonna be happy to read your names. As one day, Izuku, just training with Stain, as Stain said, Izuku, you're getting a lot faster than before. Are you doing any secret training from me? As Izuku said, yeah, you can say that. Stain, there's that one girl that I know, and she's so obsessed with you. She's one of your fans, I believe. As Stain said, a girl that she obsessed with me. What do you mean by this? As Izuku said, I mean, she like your style and, you know, admires you like her mentor or something like that. As she was always asking me about, you know, to tell her about your secret hideout. As they said, did you tell anyone about me, Izuku? As Izuku said, no, no, not at all. She's actually a villain. As Stain said, so you have a girlfriend that she is a villain, and she find out about your secret of being my partner. Is that what you're trying to say? As Izuku said, well, that's actually what I'm trying to say. And I'm quite, I don't know if it's a good idea to introduce her or it's a bad idea. So, what do you say? I just come here to tell you if you want me to get her here. She's the one that I was, training with her for the last couple of days. As they said, well, if she's ready, if she's not gonna tell anyone about my hideout, you can get her here. As Izuku said, alright, I'm gonna tell her about that. After we done from the night, on our hero hunt, as Stain said, well, Izuku, today I will gonna let you choose the hero that we're gonna go after. As Izuku said, oh, alright. As Izuku looking in his notebook, as he said, how about we go after Ingenium? He will be in House City by now. As Stain said, well, the hero Ingenium? Why exactly? As Izuku said, well, technically, he been forced to be a hero, his family, he is from a hero family. So, he didn't become a hero just because he want to. He become a hero because he have to. I mean, his grandpa was a hero, his father was a hero, so they were always training him to be a hero. Not because he want, but because he should be. Don't you think this is quite fake for you, Stain? And Stain said, well, you're quite right. Let's go. And after that, Izuku in the night wearing his, outfit which is looking like this, with his staff and his grappling hook. And a couple of, red smoke bombs and knives. And his combat shoes which is having some, spikes inside of them. He took this from Stain, as he and Stain go into Hoso City, as they see in an alleyway Ingenium running after a villain. As Izuku said, well, this is Ingenium, what should we do? As Stain said, this is your hero. You're the one that should take care of it. As Izuku said, alright. And after that, Ingenium running after the hero, as he said, stop right there, you villain. As the villain said, hey, why can't you just leave me alone? And after that, a smoke bomb being thrown in the alleyway. As, Ingenium and the villain stop, as the villain said, what the? And after that, Izuku jumped down and immediately stabbed the villain through his heart, killing him immediately. As he jumped at Ingenium, throwing a punch directly in his face, throwing his helmet away. As Ingenium fall on the ground. As he said, "Who's this?" As he looking up, he see a kid with a sword, because Izuku's staff he can take It's like a, you know, you know how this he take the sword out of his staff. He put the the sword in front of Ingenium face as he said, "Hello, Ingenium. How are you doing today?" As Ingenium said, "Wait, you are Curdle, right?" As he immediately got hold of himself and jumped back a little bit as he said, "Where is Stain?" As Izuku said, "There is no Stain here, it's only me." As Ingenium said, "Well, what do you want? And what's happened to that villain?" As Izuku said, "Oh, you don't have to worry about it." As Izuku move into the left, revealing the villain that he is right now dead on the ground. As Ingenium said, Why did you do this, kid? What are you doing? Stop what you're doing right now." As Izuku said, "I'm not gonna stop until I finally kill every single fake hero in this society." As he start jumping on the walls, and Genium start, jumping on the walls after Izuku, as they, clashing in the mid-air. Ingenium throwing his punches because, Izuku, Ida brother, which is Ingenium, Tensei, his quirky engine is manifest in his arm instead of his legs, like Ida, if you doesn't know that. As he throwing a punch at Izuku blocking this punch with his staff, going to throw a slash with his knife, but Ingenium dodging this using his left arm and throwing a punch at Izuku's face, throwing him away, which is making the mask come off of Izuku's face, revealing his face into Ingenium. As Ingenium said, "So you are looking like this, huh? Why can't you just give up, kid? Just give up and come with me." As Izuku said, like hell I'm gonna do that." As Izuku throw another red smoke bomb and start jumping left and right at Ingenium, start slashing him with knives everywhere in his body. But they are not quite able to, pierce through his armor, because you know how Ingenium wearing an armor. As Izuku, Ingenium starts spinning around to make like a tornado motion to make the red smoke go away. As after that, he said, "Terrible blast!" as he going at Izuku, throwing a punch at his chest. Izuku being, hit by this as he, spilled blood out of his mouth and being thrown at a wall. As Ingenium said, "Now, give up, kid. Don't let me hurt you more than this." As Izuku said, "You asshole!" As Izuku immediately start jumping on the walls left and right, much faster than before. As Ingenium quite surprised by this, saying, "What the hell? How is he getting even faster than this?" And after that, he immediately being stabbed in his left shoulder by Izuku, as he screamed in pain. And after that, Izuku said, "Oh, I'm not done yet." As Izuku moved his sword downwards, cutting off Ingenium left arm, as he starts screaming in pain, saying, "Ah, my arm! No, not like this!" As Izuku licked the blood out of the knife, the sword, and said, "Now I'm gonna show you what's happened to fakes like you." As Izuku raising his blade up in the air and go to stab Ingenium directly in through his heart, but Stain jumped down and put his, hand on Izuku left shoulder, telling him, "Izuku, this is enough." As Izuku said, "Wait, Stain, but why do you stop me from killing him?" As Stain said, "Let him live, because to make people know that you are the one that did this." As Izuku said, "Are you sure, Stain?" As Stain said, "Come on, Izuku, let's leave. You done quite well. I'm proud of you." As he starts, petting Izuku on his head. As Izuku smiled and said, "Thank you, Stain." As Ingenium said, "Stain, what did you do to this kid?" As Stain said, "Oh, shut up, you fake. If it wasn't for me, he was gonna kill you. So, I was expecting to hear from you something like thank you." As Ingenium said, "I can't let you leave." As Stain immediately kicked him in his face, knocking him out. As Ingenuine was still paralyzed. As Stain said, well, Izuku, let's leave the place. As Izuku said, alright, Stain. And after that, Izuku leave the place with the Stain. As right now we cut into Ingenium and Ida. Or not in Ida, we cut into Ingenium and the hospital. In the hospital, as after he finally met with the detective and the chief of police and All Might, as the detective said, well, Tensei, what's happened there? As Tensei said, I don't know. That kid, that Curdle, he just attacked me with Stain. Stain didn't do anything. It was just him, and he was so fast, and he weird quirk that paralyzed me. I doesn't know how he did it, and he even took my left arm. As right now this is after a couple of hours, and for some weird reason, Tensei is still paralyzed. As the detective said, ask the doctor, telling him, why is he still paralyzed? As the doctor said, we don't quite know. Whatever that kid did to Ingenium, it must be so weird, because his body is normal. It doesn't have anything weird inside of it, but he's just paralyzed. He can't move. We're scared that he might not be able to move his body anymore. He will not gonna be able to move even his pinky finger anymore in his life. As the detective, quite surprised by this, and All Might said, what? You're not serious, right? As the doctor said, I wish that I was lying, but this is the truth. We will gonna tell him soon enough. Right now, he need to come down. As All Might said, damn it. We need to capture Stain fast. He's becoming too much of a problem to us. As the detective said, well, Ingenium, do you saw anything weird with that kid? As the Ingenium said, well, I saw his face. As All Might said, really? Can you tell us what's he looking like? As Ingenium said, well, I couldn't see his face quite well because of his hoodie on his head. The alley was quite dark, and there was a lots of red smoke all around. But I can say that he was looking like, as he started explaining how Izuku face looking like. As after that, All Might said, well, thank you, Ingenium. Take a rest, and I wish that you were gonna be able to come back into your work soon enough. After they put your hand back in its place, as Ingenium said, thank you, All Might. And after that, All Might leave the place with the chief of police and the detective. As All Might said, so, are we gonna go to his house again? As the detective said, well, from what Ingenium told us, we are now sure that he is the one that's working with Stain. The chief of police said, he's such a smart kid, we couldn't find him from a long time. We were actually searching for him for quite a while. What should we do when we go into his house? Should we take a couple of police with us, All Might, or are you gonna be enough? As All Might said, let's talk with him first of all and convince him to stop what he's doing. He's still quite young. And after that, we may be able to, prepare for the sport festival. As the, detective said, that actually quite right, the sport festival. It must be a very, you must have a lots of things to prepare for, right, All Might? As All Might said, right. But for now, let's go and see Midoriya. And This one gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what do you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen in the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say then. Severed was here.